Hello everyone, my name is Denzel Kessie. I'm an illustrator and graphic designer, and today's presentation will be breaking the mold, how to stand out as a creative, where I'll give you 4 tips on how to stand out in a very crowded industry. Okay, now the first tip is embracing your unique perspective. The creative industry thrives on fresh ideas and originality, and the best way to stand out is to tap into your unique perspective. You got to show off what makes you you. Okay, now I'm going to show you 2 examples of creatives who have done well due to showing off their unique perspectives. The first one here is Mary Farid. Her unique perspective is how she views the female body. She loves drawing it and displays it with stylized illustrations always present in her work, whether it be branding for skincare brands or personal work to promote body positivity. Okay, and the second example is Elliot and his unique perspective is his comical viewpoint on working as a graphic designer. His work pokes fun at all the good and bad of being a designer, some of which many people can relate to, or at least understand enough to, get a good laugh out of. Now, tell me, what do these two have in common? That's right, their unique perspectives. Their unique perspectives make them stand out because they are one of a kind creatives. Only they can do the work which they do because only they have their own unique perspectives. So if you're able to tap into what makes you you and show that off in your work, then you immediately become someone who's indistinguishable from everyone else. All right, now the second tip is developing a strong personal brand. Building a strong personal brand is key to making a name for yourself in the creative industry. And here's some examples of how to do that. All right, now the first one is to build a strong portfolio. Your portfolio is your most essential tool as a creative. Your portfolio has to be top tier because that will determine how much work you get. It will determine whether you get the job or not. So to build a strong portfolio, it has to have 3 things. All right, now the first thing a good portfolio needs is to be easily accessible. Now, when I say easily accessible, it needs to be something where you can literally just send a link or file to someone and they can open up like that with no problem. If they have to go through some long password protection in order to see it or do some long sign up process, then they're most likely not going to check it. And the second thing a strong portfolio will need is to be to the point. When someone goes in your portfolio, they need to know what you do straight away. If they can't figure it out after the first few clicks, they're just going to leave. And the third thing which a strong portfolio needs is to be extremely flattering. Now, because this is what you're going to use to get work, you need to show off your best work in your portfolio. So there's no need to have every piece of work you've done shoved on there, even the ones you don't like. Only put the ones which you feel are the best work. So that way you're showing people who will view your portfolio your best hand. All right, now the second thing you need to develop a strong personal brand is a good online presence. Social media is the most accessible form of free advertising, so use it to the best of your ability. Building a solid online presence means you no longer need to search for work. Instead, people come to you. And also, in terms of building a good online presence, it doesn't just have to be social media. There's other platforms you can use as well, such as blog sites, such as It's Nice Style or Creative Boom. You can promote your work on brand pages. You can upload your work to directories, which a lot of commissions will use. They'll just scroll through all the names to try and find different creatives. You can you can enter competitions. That's another way to get them out, and you can also join campaigns. Okay, now the third tip on standing out in the creative industry is staying current and relevant. The creative industry is constantly evolving, and it's essential to stay current on the latest trends and topics to remain relevant. Okay, so social media is a big part of this because there's always a new topic on social media that everyone will be discussing, whether it's celebrity gossip, politics, fashion, music, you name it. So if you keep an eye on the popular topics floating around, you'll be one of the choices when brands want to discuss those things. Another thing that'll help in terms of staying current and relevant is attending conferences and events. Because if there's something popular to discuss, there's definitely going to be a conference or event about it. Go to them, hear experts discuss these topics, and get your knowledge up. Another way to stay relevant is to check out online communities. These online communities are often the ones to start on popular topics and trends that everyone discusses. So find the right ones, and you'll always be the first one to know what this week's hot topic will be. All right, now the fourth and final tip on how to stand out in the creative industry is knowing how to navigate the creative landscape because the creative industry is highly competitive and it can be challenging to get noticed without knowing how to do that. Now, one of the main ways to do this is networking. Now, as an introvert, I know how scary it is to go to events, intending to talk to random strangers, but trust me, it's nowhere near as scary as it looks. And networking is also one of the best ways to stand out. Network will help you build a network of industry professionals who can put your name forward for opportunities and share your name with their wider network. The more networking you do, the more networks you'll be a part of, and with that, more opportunities to stand out. Another way to do this is to join mentoring programs. Mentoring programs are super helpful, and nothing helps you to stand out more than an industry professional introducing you to their wider network and providing you with all the knowledge they have to stand out in this crowded industry. All right, now it's all good and well me telling you that, you know, these tips will help you, but I feel like the way to get you to believe me when I say these tips will help you is to show you how these tips have helped me. Right. So when it comes to embracing my unique perspective, my unique perspective was I love black culture, and I showed that off in every piece of work I made. And because of that, that's what I became known for. And another thing which I became known for was the cartoony, almost pop art style which I do my work in. Something which I developed from experimenting with different art styles over the years. And now, because of that, that's something which I'm known for as well. So, whenever people talk about me and my work, the first things that come to their mind is black culture, really colorful art that just, you know, makes a statement like what pop art does. All right, and when it came to developing a strong personal brand, what I did was I put my graphic design skills to use, where I created a whole brand identity for myself. And that just helped spread my name around. So whenever anyone saw that logo around, they knew it was me. Whenever I was passing around business cards and they saw that logo on it or the back, they knew it was me. And if they didn't know before, they would see that, go online. Then if they want to come across it online at some point, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've seen it before. I've seen this work before." And then that'll just help make my personal brand even stronger. Then on top of that, I also curated my website, as you can see in the first picture, to just show my best work and made it just as clean and simple to understand as possible to know what it is I do. And that's what made my brand really strong. Another thing which I did to make my brand strong was I put a lot of time and effort into making sure I built a good online presence. So whenever you go onto my Instagram, you're seeing nothing but my artwork and news about my artwork laid out very carefully. So the minute you go on the page, you're just like, wow, this page looks amazing because of how I curated it. Then it'll make you want to check more. And if you're someone who's even looking to commission that type of work, you see how I've curated my page, and then you know you'll want to message me for work later. Well, at least that's how things have been going for me because I've actually managed to get a decent number of work from Instagram because of how I curated it. Another thing which I did to develop a strong personal brand was I did all these five things mentioned here. I'm on multiple blog sites that includes It's Nice That, What Magazine, Creative Boom, Creative Lives in Progress. I'm on brand pages such as Brand Slag, clerks. I'm on directories for sites like BEMA, which is short for British Interactive Media Association. I've joined multiple competitions and was even a finalist for the Guardian Illustration Prize in 2019. And I've also joined multiple campaigns. Those campaigns include ones run by Converse, the NHS. All this stuff just helped make my brand stronger. Now, when it comes to staying current and relevant, one of the things which I always do is I'm always at conferences and events because that way I'm always meeting new people, I'm always learning new information. I get introduced to topics which I originally knew nothing about or very little about, and then just hearing everyone talk about it, it gives me enough knowledge to the point where I can comfortably talk about those same topics, and that helps, make me more current than my competition a lot of the time. And another thing which I use to do that is I'm also using socials to stay informed on certain topics as well. Because whether you hear about the topics a bit late or just before they become, popular topics, social media will always be talking about them at some stage. So as soon as you hear a topic which is interesting, just dive right into it. See what names they're dropping, see what big phrases are being thrown around. Make sure to do your research as well, because one thing which you don't want to do is talk about these certain topics whilst having no idea what you're really talking about. Because then instead of looking current and relevant, you rather look like an uninformed person trying to stay relevant, which is really bad. So yeah, when you see the stuff on socials, make sure to do the research first, and then as soon as you got the facts right, just soak up all the knowledge you can, and then you'll be able to talk comfortably about these topics as well, and that will help you stay current. And the last thing I do to stay current, I'm on I'm a part of multiple online communities. So I'm on a couple of Discord channels with a couple of other creatives where we just pass around different creative opportunities with each other. We talk about certain things happening in the creative industry. I'm also a part of different personal Instagram groups as well, Instagram group chats, WhatsApp group chats, private Slack channels, and a lot of these online communities as well are advertised on these brand sites. The people who run these are always advertising them because they're always looking to have new people to join. So as soon as you catch wind of a new online community, which looks like it could be a right fit for you, just sign up straight away. Now, in terms of navigating the competitive landscape, one thing which I do the most is I'm always networking. And when it comes to networking, that is one of the most underrated skills around in the creative industry. I would say most of the success which I've had has to do with networking. Like, and it's not even a matter of just always finding the right person to talk to. It's just going to these creative spaces, just talking to anyone really, anyone who's just willing to talk. And trust me, there'll always be someone willing to talk. And just have genuine conversations with people. And when you do that, you start to form a bond. That bond forms into a good working relationship. And then when you start doing this at enough places, like at enough events, conferences, you name it, you start to build a really strong network yourself. Then eventually, once you reach that point, you don't even need to start searching for these events to meet new people at yourself because the network you built, they will be telling you about all these new places and vice versa. So you will always be in the know-how on what big events going on, where it is you need to go, and you want to be there. Just just meeting new people and growing your network, making sure your network grows stronger and stronger and stronger. And the people with the biggest networks are always the ones with the most opportunities because they are always the first to hear about anything. So, and you know what? I know it's really hard to try network when you're introverted. And I understand that because I'm an introvert person myself. But I'm here to tell you it's nowhere near as scary as you think when you do it. And just like a personal example for me as an introvert, when I first started networking, I was terrible at it. I was not good at all. Um, I was stuttering a lot. I still do that now because I really didn't know how to start conversations with people. Some of these conversations were just really awkward, and a lot of the horrible scenarios you're thinking would happen when you're talking to strangers. Yeah, they all happen to me, but the reason I'm saying network is nowhere near as scary as you think is because once all those bad situations happened to me, I realized, oh wait, this is actually not that bad. Like I was making a big deal over nothing. Because like some of these people who have had horrible situations with trying to network with, these embarrassing situations, they've become really good friends of mine now. So it's amazing how much you can limit yourself from the situations which you have like thought up in your head. Trust me, it's never that bad. People are a lot nicer than you think. So just go out, network, meet new people, talk to whoever, and if it doesn't turn out the way you want, it's okay. It's not that bad. You have more chances. But yeah, enough of my networking. Let me go on to the second thing which I do to navigate the competitive landscape, and that is I join mentoring programs. The first one I joined was already super instrumental. I was partnered up with the head of talent at the Elephant Room. Her name is Shini Smith. She is an amazing person in the creative industry. She's always looking to help people. So me being partnered with her was a blessing. She she would sit me down like at least like once or twice a week. She helped me write down goals to make. She helped me write down career goals. She helped me figure out what things I was doing wrong in terms of just trying to get my name out there, what stuff I can improve on. And then she was even inviting me to events on where I can meet the right people to talk to. And then just from all of that, my career took such a huge jump to the point where me being in contact with her got me a commission with Nike. And this was just like a bit over a year. I was working as a creative professional. So I was just mind blown because just having a good mentor led to me getting a commission like that in my first year as a creative professional. It's crazy. And then after that, I actually joined the creative program which her company ran. And I was partnered up with another great creative professional, a creative director called Adam Fish. Sorry. And Adam, he as well gave me so much great tips. He helped me clean up my website so it was more approachable to people who were trying to commission me. He gave me a whole lot of other creative tips in terms of how to generate more work, how to make myself seem more like a serious professional. And then even just being part of that program alone helped open so much doors because it was also in collaboration with Clarks. And through that I got to be featured on Clarks's website, which was insane. And then I also met a ton of other creatives on that same creative program. a lot of people on that program were actually really good friends now. We all stay in contact, and it's led to so many doors being opened for all of us who were part of that program. So I cannot recommend mentoring enough. Like, if you see mentoring programs, please join them. All right, now here's the end result of me following those 4 tips. One, I've won multiple awards. So that includes the Stylist Hound's Golden Halo Awards, where I won Best Graphic Designer, and being a part of the Beam 100 under the Creatives and Designers category. And the second thing was I had my work on billboards nationwide. Now that was amazing, that one, because seeing your work in multiple places in different environments is already crazy. But then to see them on huge billboards and knowing that mobile people are seeing that as it just going by their day in the largest format possible, that was just amazing. And the third one was I'm currently a member of the Converse All Stars program, which is Converse exclusive group of creatives. They basically scout out the most amazing creatives they can find, or they'll get recommendations from people who are already part of the program. And then once you're in the program, you get access to exclusive commissions, exclusive projects. You get to network with all the other Converse stars around the world. You'll first find out about exclusive chats and and hmm, I'm not sure how much I can say, so I'm gonna stop there. But yeah, it's great being part of that. And the fourth thing was I've worked with some big names now. I've worked with Nike, I've worked with Fila, Converse, and the NHS, and that list is ever growing. But I would say the best ever result I've gotten from following those 4 steps is I now work as a creative full time, which is something I didn't think was going to happen because when I left uni and I didn't get work for the first year, it was hard. It was heartbreaking. But I just kept on following those 4 steps, and eventually stuff started to open up a bit more. You know, more and more doors started opening. The path to being a creative full time eventually started, opening up itself a bit more. And now I do that. I was working freelance full time last year, and now I work at a design agency full time and still do freelance on the side. So yeah, that is the end result for me following those 4 tips. All right, now that is all the tips I have on how to stand out in the creative industry. Thank you for listening.